It lets me know. Well, we are live. Hello, everyone. I know we're a little late today, and I do apologize for that. Our guest is a teacher, and you know the life of a teacher doesn't always follow the schedule that I might have in place. Today, we have a wonderful, wonderful person on our live today. It's Mr. Tyrik Gass, and he's a single father, and he's going to drop some gems on us. So welcome, Tyrik, welcome. And before I even read his bio, I have to say this. When I retired from the school district, and you guys know that I've been retired since 2013. Well, I decided one year to do some subbing, and I worked at the Kenderton School. And the principal paired me with Tyrik Gass to do team teaching. It was a wonderful experience. But I will tell any and everybody, if you work with Tyrik Gass and if you have lunch together, just understand, because of the kind of heart that he has, you may not get your lunch on that particular day. He won't keep your money. He'll give your money back. For example, he'll go out and say, okay, Miss Golden, what you want today? And, well, I'll say, okay, let's get, a hoagie, whatever. And you'll wait and wait and wait. And then he'll call and say, Miss Golden, there was a homeless man outside the restaurant and I just couldn't walk past him and not give him food. So I gave him our lunch. And that's a good prop. And that happens so many times. I just got used to Tyrik doing that. I just bring my own lunch. So this is the kind of heart that he has. He sees someone in need. He doesn't do it for show. He's real quiet about it, but he always helps those in need. And I'm telling you, there were many days I'd sit and look and I'm like, lunch is almost off. And he'd call and say, well, somebody needed it. And then he'd go out later and get something else. So welcome, Tyrik.
Thank you.
So let me give you some background information. Tyrik Gass is a 33-year-old, a single father, born and raised in Philadelphia by a single mother. He says that his father really didn't have a lot of engagement in his upbringing. So you kind of wonder, how does a man who didn't have a father in his life raise an early learner? Well, we're going to find out. Tyrik Gass, he says that his mother was present and he appreciates all of the things that she's taught him. He had to learn a lot on his own. He earned his associate degree from Johnson College. Yes. Mm-hmm. And now he has, everyone, a bachelor's and master's from Wilmington University. And he is a teacher. And a very good teacher. And I tell you, many of our boys especially need a Tyrik Gass in their lives. Because when we worked together, there were no discipline problems. I had no problems. Not that I would have them, but he walked in the room, there were no problems at all. So Tyrik is the single father, 33-year-old young man, but he's been a single father for the past 8 years. 8 years of an adorable son by the name of Jonas. And I met Jonas, and he's a handsome little guy, really sweet, nice and kind, just like his dad. So let's just dive right in, Tyrik. All right?
Go.
So listen, my first question is, balancing work and parental responsibilities in a 2-parent household is overwhelming and challenging in and of itself, right? How do you do it as a single parent? How do you manage it all?
First, I want to say thank you for the intro. That was really nice. Appreciate it. But back to the question, how do I do it? One, I got to keep focused. It's like staying focused and keeping staying motivated with my goals. Right? Set these goals for myself, things I want to accomplish, things I want to do as a father, as a person, while my time here on earth. So I just kind of just keep that goal, regardless of anything that goes on. I'm like, just got to get up and keep pushing. Because if I don't, this could be my opportunity. I might miss the opportunity. So again, it's like that, this staying goal-oriented and staying, real strict on what it is I'm trying to do and then what it is I'm trying to accomplish. So it's just staying focused on that goal and staying motivated to it. And then, it helps when I see my young man get up every day, it's just like when I see him, it's like, all right, I got to do this for him. I'm doing this for him. I'm doing this
Mhm.
for upcoming, the people that's underneath me, everybody that
Mhm.
want to see me do good, everybody that support me. So it's like
Right.
I can't now. I can't
Okay.
way too far. I think about where I come from. I think about when I'm trying to go and what I had
Mhm.
set for myself. So those are my motivation.
Oh, that's wonderful. And the thing is, I heard you say over and over, keeping focused.
Hmm.
That must be hard. How do you keep your focus when you have all of these things to focus on, especially with a young person, a early learner, a student a child like your son who's young? How do you keep your focus when he has all of these needs that must be met and you have to do it by yourself? How do you stay focused? Like, what is your motivation?
Well, with me coming to work every day and I look at the youth and I see them,
Hmm. Hmm.
there's times, like I said, this ain't easy. It is
Hmm.
difficult and hard. So when I
Hmm.
see young people today in this era, in this, that I see them, and it's
Hmm.
like, dang, imagine if I stopped working here now. There was so many times I just wanted to like stop working here at this
Hmm.
school. And again, to a lot of my students, I'm like a father figure to them. So for
Hmm.
me to, even miss a day, and this is one of the
Hmm.
reasons I miss days. I would say the last 6 years I've been here, I probably missed no more than 5 days.
Hmm.
Um,
Years. Wow.
so it's hard, like, because I feel like if I stop now, I'm giving up on them. I got a
Hmm.
lot at stake. So it's like
Hmm.
to a lot of people. So it's like I
Hmm.
can't stop. I can't.
And I,
So it's kind of
and
focus.
I,
It's got to keep
mhm.
going.
And I saw that in you when I worked with you. You were determined and you didn't let things hold you back. And it's interesting because you said in your bio your father didn't have a lot of input in your life, and a lot of young men seem to fail in life because of the fact that their father was absent, right?
Mhm.
So, what was that? Who was the role model for you to keep you
Um,
motivated? Hmm.
for me, I wouldn't pretty much say I have a role model. I was kind of like just leeching on to anything or anybody that had love for me. Um,
Hmm.
growing up without a father, it was just like I said, that absence is like every place was something else, and that came
Hmm.
with stupidity decisions that I made would led me into Glen Mills for 3 years. So I had to go
Hmm.
away for 3 years as a youth because the mistakes I made,
Hmm.
and not being, the correct way. Me,
Hmm.
being guided by other lost people who didn't have fathers that telling us to do or
Hmm.
ask us to do, or we see certain things that we thought was cool. Like, hey, you don't
Hmm.
what money look like? That's how you get money. Okay, now I want to get money too. Not
Hmm.
talking 401ks or savings or getting a real job or this is how you be patient to do this and do that. You
Hmm.
learn the hard way, and those kind of the path I had to take.
Okay.
Because in my background.
So you went down the wrong path at one point, but you turned that around, is what you're saying.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. So that is a motivated for some it's a motivation. Others
Yeah.
they kind of stay stuck, right?
Mhm.
Have you
Yes. Yeah.
seen that? Okay. So I guess with your son, the focus is for him not to go down that road that you've been down or have experienced it, right?
Well, I'm a fair parent, because I want to just make sure my son got the opportunity of having those options. I don't want to be
Hmm.
strict on him, like, hey, don't do the things I didn't do, because kids gonna be kids. They're gonna
Right.
they want to know certain things. My
Hmm.
goal. My goal is to make sure that he got that option, that opportunity of knowing this
Hmm.
what it could become. So my job is to guide him.
Right.
Um, and show him the way. Like, here's
Hmm.
daddy mistakes. This is what I had to go against.
Hmm.
This is why things go a certain way for me right now.
Hmm.
This is
Hmm.
why where I need to be or further in life. I
Okay.
can't pull up and go buy a Benz right now. My
Okay.
credit is not where it need to be right now. This is
Hmm.
why certain people see me a certain way.
Okay.
So right now you got a clean slate. You didn't make those mistakes I made. So I
Right.
need path because once you get off it, you could get really distracted. Whereas though sometimes it's hard to get back on it.
Right. Right.
Kind of
Okay.
like guide him, make sure I paid the mistakes for you to
Hmm.
teach you, learn, and let you know you don't got to do this. You can start going straight on this path and stay there. I had
Okay.
to circle and then get back on.
Okay. That's good. Good stuff. So my next question is, who do you consult when you have to make decisions regarding his education, his health, his overall well-being? Who helps you with that process? Because a lot of mothers that are single mothers, they kind of learn from their mothers how to make certain decisions for their children. But as a man, who do you have to help you make certain decisions for your child?
Um, when it comes to those decisions, I kind of myself and God really, um,
Hmm.
kind of just hope and pray that I'm making the best decision I'm making when it comes to his education, and
Hmm.
things like that because he goes to school with me, so he's in
Okay.
school. So that's like a big
Plus. Oh, something happened.
key here.
I
Yeah,
don't
there
know.
we go.
You went out for a minute. Go ahead.
Yeah. So like I said, with the decision I make, it's kind of like up to like me and God really. I kind of make those decisions, hoping and praying that I'm making the best decision. With him going to school with me, that's kind of like really beneficial because he's here with me, and work, he going to school, so we all here in one. So it's like a 2-in-1. My goal next year is kind of like put him in a better, because now he got like a taste of this is what this look like, versus maybe try to get him in a better school. Now he can see what education, like he take his education serious now, but I want him to see a classroom look like with a lot of kids that's on the same type time he on.
Okay. So like, what about like medical issues and things like that? Do you have anybody that you consult? You have like a good pediatrician? Like, how do you know what decisions to make for the dentist, for the doctor? Do you just kind of, blindly select, or do you have referrals, or do you have like a men's group that you kind of talk to? Like, who helps you?
I really don't. I have my mother, who's I talk a lot about because I believe she was a nurse growing up and she know a lot about the med area. So come to certain things like that. Yes, referrals and everything do come through my mother. Yes, she helps me a lot on that. So yeah, I would say my mom. She's like my A1. So I go to a like relationship issues, anything like that. So yeah, my mom would be my good.
So you have support, because I guess I was thinking, like, when you think of single fathers, maybe people don't really understand what that means, but you do have like a support system.
Yeah, I would say my mom is one of my biggest supporters. She'll come through, watch my kid if I gotta go to work. His mom is present in his life. So sometimes I could lean on her here and there, but for the most part, my mom is my biggest supporter. So like I do security. So I'm working almost every day a week. Monday to Friday, I'm a teacher. At night, on the weekends, I'm doing security. I'm coaching on the weekends. So like, I'm just going. And like if I need my mom, can you watch them? I gotta go to work. So she'll come through and help me out.
Okay. But Tyrik, let me ask you this. Do you face like stereotypes or people that have their own opinions about fatherhood and, you should be doing this, or they have their, how people judge? We're very judgmental. Have you run into things like that that kind of bother you?
Yeah. When I not bother me in a way, but it was more so like I said, this was my first time experiencing it. Like when I started my son here, they was looking like his primary parent, they thought it was the mom and everything else. And I even get people like, some of the friends like, oh, so you the mom? And I'm looking like, what? No, I'm the dad. Because they look at me like, things you doing, those things that mom's supposed to be doing. I'm looking like, what? Custody of my kid is not a mom thing. Taking care of my kid is a mom thing. Doing everyday routine is not a mom thing. Dressing him, washing him, getting his lunch ready, making sure his homework done, making sure he knows. Like anybody could do it. Mom, dad, cousin. Like it's not a mom thing.
That's a good point. Please say that again. Please say that again, because we tend to just lump all of that stuff on moms. And you said it's not a mom's thing.
And they really think it's a mom thing. Like people really think it's a mom thing. It's not. It's for anybody who's willing to care and do the work.
Right. That's a good point. Because we need to get away from that, because dads can be more involved, and I know that there are a lot of couples where parents are sharing the bathing at night or storytelling or shopping, because in these days and times, both parents have to work dual, work a job and take care of home, and you got a lot going on. So that's a good thing. It's not a mom's thing. It's a everybody pitch in and let's help raise this child. That's good. Good. Okay, so how do you prioritize self-care and a healthy lifestyle for yourself? Because I know a lot of your attention and focus, he's like the main attraction. He's the main stage. He's the person that you care about the most. And sometimes as a parent, we care so much for our children, we tend to neglect ourselves. So how do you take care of yourself to make sure that he's good?
Well, for me, I'm having a hard time with that even right now. These things I don't really think about, like even right now with working myself to death, trying to make a better life for him. So he can benefit from it. I'm still working on that on myself because it's difficult and hard. So yeah, like I said, that's tough. That's tough. I really say I don't I put him first. Even when it comes to getting dressed in the morning, I dress him first before I. It's like sometimes I think I should get dressed first and then get him dressed. But for me, it's like I operate that way. He always got to come first. And I
Okay.
have other kids as well, but they don't live with me. This is the one I have custody with full time, 24/7. He's with me in school, out of school. He eat lunch with me. This is my guy. So again, when it comes to any kids or even my students, they come first. It's like self-care is really difficult for me when I got a lot of leaning towards me and look up to
Right.
me. So that
So,
come real.
so that's a hard thing for you. So so how do you think you could remedy that? Because you don't want to burn out,
I know.
and you got to
And
take care of yourself. So
think I haven't got to that point yet. Whereas though, because
okay.
this is me doing what I actually love to do. So I
Okay.
actually get excited about this. I love it. Keep me going. It fuels me. It fuels me.
Okay.
So it's like when I see my kids benefit from it, learning from it, using the language, talking the talk, and like standing for what I believe in and things I'm doing. It's like, all right, this will keep me going. Here's a kid making it. I got one of my students who just got I believe like a scholarship, $10,000 for his business. So I'm looking like, yes. So I'm looking like these are the things. His name Nasir Powell. He go to Simon Gratz. So I'm looking like he just got $10,000 for his business. This is my student, and this is why I do it. I see my kids, my students. Like hopefully they see the things I'm talking about. Whereas though they're not going down the wrong path, which I have those as well that make the like, oh my God, I just told you. So it's like, and I hope and pray when they come to my kids, my own personal kids, we are the right decisions.
Okay. Okay. Tyrik, that's so good. That is so good. So let me ask you this. How do you think that there should be no, let me ask you this. Let me not assume. Do you know of any resources that are specific to helping single fathers? Because mothers have a lot of resources. But for single fathers, do you know of any resources that are available to help, or do you have to find them as you go?
I would say, me personally, I find them as I go, which I haven't found any yet. I mean, I do, but don't. Not like, it's things we create. Like, when I go and play basketball and we talk about, having cookouts and just self meeting up or bringing our kids outside, this stand like brotherhood type situation. So I do got like, I wouldn't say it's not purposely done. We just so happen to meet up with like, oh, you got a kid, I got a kid. Let's bring our kids together. Those things like that. So park is called Parkside in West Philadelphia. So every Sunday, all the this and whatnot, we come out there with our kids. It's just like it's filling. And really, believe it or not, Sunday is all fathers. There's no mothers. So it's all fathers, big kids. We just all outside playing basketball, watching the kids like it's a playground. So it's stuff like that. Whereas though we don't purposely do it, it just so happened just create itself. But no, maybe that's something the city should look into. Recreate those father outs with the resources, because I'm quite sure there's a lot of fathers out there that's doing the work, but just don't get for or get a nod for it. Like we out there, out there.
So have you met any fathers personally that are single fathers? Do you meet a lot of them or no? Okay.
Yes. Like I said, you come to that, you'll see a lot. You come to that playground, there's a lot of single fathers that's doing their thing for their kids. We talk real about, how deadbeat fathers is this, deadbeat fathers is that, not doing this, not doing that. A lot of times it just negative talk.
Yeah.
It just negative talk.
And that's something that we talked about in some previous lives. We got to change the narrative, and we got to get away from stereotype, because you will see it on Facebook, you'll see it on TikTok, you'll see it all over, where people are just bashing women, bashing fathers, black fathers. They're no blank good. And then if you keep watching that and hearing that, you tend to believe it, which is why I am determined to showcase as many black men that I know personally in my life that are doing wonderful things, taking care of their families. So it's really, when I hear it and see it, it's not true in my reality,
Right.
And so you just said every Saturday on Parkside, and I know where that is. And for those who live in Philadelphia, you know where the Parkside area is. And if you don't, you can look it up. But you say that there are single fathers that come together every Sunday and play basketball and bring their children. That's a wonderful thing to see. And maybe, Tyrik, that's something that you could just showcase on your own and say, look, we're out here, make Facebook, make a reel and say, we're out here. For those who don't believe it, here we are, because you guys get a bad rap. And I know personally, like I know you're doing a dynamic job with your child, you
Well,
know?
what I believe it is, I think it comes down to, we gotta separate the two. And that's men and it comes down to that relationship. When it
Yeah.
comes to being in a relationship with your partner, whether it's, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your wife, your husband, and y'all got 10 kids together, if that relationship fails or whatever, now it's like, oh, you're a bad father, because now that partner, whether it's male or female, is now trying to break you. They want you to feel they hurt. So again, if I'm a girl, of a nice lady, and we so happen not to work out, and we got a kid together now, I got to get back at you. How dare you go and move on, get a relationship? Or now
Right.
you're your kid. Or now
Right.
you're not. I just want to take care of my kid. That's it. I don't want
Right.
no ties to you. I just want to take care of my kid and do what I
Right.
got to do. And it's
Right.
the same for females or the males. Like it's,
Right.
we as the people, we got to get away from separating the two. Like the relationship don't work, cool. Let
Right.
that man, let that woman be the parent. Let
Right.
them go ahead and do what they do, because the only person get hurt behind it is the child.
That's right.
So
That's
we got too much in us, whereas though that relationship really like kills that whole parenting
right.
like experience for a lot of people. Because now you turned me into something. Now I got to pay child support for a kid I was just taking care of when we was in a
Right.
relationship.
Right.
So now I'm getting PFAs and everything else. So
Yeah.
now it's like, wow, like we was good. It was
Right.
good.
Right. Let me ask you this. So what advice would you give to a father? Let's say a single father just happens to now have to, he has custody of his child, right? What advice would you give to help him navigate through this very difficult process starting out?
Um, the advice I could give to a single father who's starting out with taking
Mhm.
care of kids, just be patient. Is be
Mhm.
patient. Don't rush. Don't doubt yourself. Believe in yourself that you're loving your kid the way you should be doing.
Mhm.
And definitely lean on support. If you got the
Mhm.
support in your background, you got the resources, you want to use those. Because
Mhm.
again, like a lot of times, I neglect those situations. Whereas though, I wanted to do for my kid, because I know how my upcoming was, and I'm looking
Mhm.
like I'm not going to bring my kid up
Mhm.
the way I was brought up. I'm going to
Right.
do everything in my power to make sure he got what he need, all the tools he
Mhm.
need, all the things he need to know. And I was self-centered on it, was though I'm going to be that person. I
Mhm.
don't want nobody else. I'm going to do that for my son. So again,
Right.
but I got away, had to learn, like I can't do this by myself. I'm going to
Mhm.
need others. I need support, because it is hard. It is hard. So again,
Right.
no matter how much we think we got it, there's still
Mhm.
pieces that we don't, that we can learn. I'm still
Right.
learning as a father.
Mhm.
Again, I'm really, like you said before, I'm really big on, having that big respect and a certain
Mhm.
that manner around. So when my
Mhm.
kid want to talk about his feelings and talk about certain things, I gotta be there to listen. You
Yes.
you catch me years ago, I'm looking like, who you think you open your mouth to? Like I'm
Right.
back in the, like, you don't talk about adults talking, or when I
Right.
say go, you do as I say,
Mhm.
not do. But then
Right.
ain't no, what I say goes. But
Right.
now it's like I'm coming to that, whereas though, I gotta, and I guess this is where that whole you the mom and dad come in part, because now I gotta be on the other side, the things you would get from a mother, that
Right.
nurture and that love, everything else. So I'm
Right.
now gotta, I gotta be open and listen to your feelings. I gotta
Okay.
let you to that, because if we don't express ourselves, we
Mhm.
bottle it up, it goes
Mhm.
elsewhere.
Okay. So how is your son managing? Does he have a relationship with his mother at all? How does that work? And it's
He
too personal. You don't have to talk about it.
no, I can
Mhm.
because it's real. And again, and there's other people out here going through the same stuff.
Okay.
That's why I say his mom is present. I wish she'd
Mhm.
be a lot present more. She is there.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, he got he loved his mom to death. He see her.
Mhm.
So right now our custody thing work. She see him on the weekends. So
Okay.
on every weekend, every chance weekend he goes see his mom. Um, but yeah, that's how I think they got a good relationship. He like her. He know her. He knows who she is.
Okay.
Um, how much of a mother, I could look at her, he could look at her, anybody could look at her. At the end of the day, that is still his mother.
Mother.
You
Right.
know,
Got you.
up
Right.
to
Right.
a father. And this is what I talk about, separating that boundaries of,
Mhm.
having that
Mhm.
respect for a mother and having that respect for the
Mhm.
relationship. Yes, we did
Right.
not work out. Hey, you still his mother. Whether you're a
Mother.
good
Right.
mother, however somebody want to see you, you still
Right.
that kid. Just
Mother.
like the father,
Right.
I cannot take that away. I will not
Right.
replace you. You know, like
Right.
hey, whether it's today or tomorrow, however it is, when you want to show up, you show. But
Right.
again, it's those conversations that need to be held and letting them know this is what's happening. This is how he's feeling. You know, he wants you to be present more. So it's
That's
that
it.
conversation that just need to be had. We gotta communicate. We as the people talk for the kid.
Right. So it seems like he's well grounded. When I met him, very happy kid, young man, very well grounded. And I think because you're honest with him, you make sure that he has everything that he needs. So I think I say kudos to you because you're doing a great job. I just think, like you said, we may have to find additional resources to help you and other fathers who might be struggling in silence. We look at you and say, "Oh, Tyrik's okay," but you may not be okay. So
Right.
we have to have agencies, and maybe after this live, I can research and find out what organizations are out there that I can shoot you some information. I know my
Listen,
mother worked. My mother worked for
here.
years with community organizations, and that's what she did for years. So I definitely will speak with her when we finish this interview, and I'm sure that she'd be able to give me some resources that I'm not aware of, because that will. It's almost like they say, it takes a village, and you shouldn't be able to.
Yeah,
You can't do this by yourself,
you can't.
and kids get support from every single entity that is involved in their life. You, the school, your religious institution, the community, everybody has a part to play in this child's life.
And
So,
listen, growing up, and that's how it was. For me,
mhm,
growing up, was the neighborhood raised us. Like you got listen, aunties around the corner that's not related
right,
to you, uncle down
right,
there. You got the listen. The whole neighborhood is all on
right,
one. That's how it was
right,
me growing up.
right,
Everybody
right,
apart. Don't say nothing to
mhm,
my kid. Your kid doing
right,
wrong. It's like
mhm,
we in this together.
right. But Tommy, I'm interested in knowing, like, where did this heart of yours develop? And it must be kudos to your mother, because you have this beautiful soul, and I've seen it firsthand. And a lot of men have it, they want to be all tough, but inside, a lot of men that I've run into have a beautiful soul inside that's covered up. It may seem callous and hard, but you are such a giving person, and you look out for everybody. I'm telling you, when we used to have events in the classroom, I would
Mm-hmm.
bring in things, but he would go over. My goodness gracious, everybody, if it was a
Yeah,
birthday, everybody had a birthday cake. I'd bring one big
yeah,
sheet
yeah.
cake, but everybody had an individual cake. Everybody toys and gifts. But where did that come from? Where did that need to
um,
make sure that
I,
everybody's okay come from?
I would definitely give props to my mother. She was that
Mhm.
mother in the neighborhood that whereas though like there been times. Sorry about the noise. It's going
Okay.
off. Still.
Okay. Okay.
I would say a lot of times, I would wake up and it's just like I see some of the people that I play with outside, like in my house, and I'm like, "Why y'all here? Who are y'all? Like, why y'all in my house?" Mom, they be at the dinner table. My mom like, "Oh, they just here for dinner and stuff." Like, I'm looking like, "What? They not related to us." Like, yeah, I'm used to family sitting at tables with us. Like, and I'm looking like I will feed the whole neighborhood. Like, it don't matter what you need, she got it.
Mhm.
Even if times we even have. So it's like, yo, mom, we barely got food for ourselves. Like, how to eating our chicken? Like, how to eat our food? Like, she'll
Right.
take clothes. Like, boy, I get you some more clothes. Don't worry about it. They need it. It's those stuff like that. Whereas though
Right.
she'll get some toys, whatever. Like, she'll take some of our Christmas toys, give it to the people down the street, and it's like, what? Oh my
Yeah.
god. So it's
Yeah.
like that. Whereas there's people that's always in need. So for me, it's just like I think that's where it came from. Like it was just always just like, hey, give, you should receive more, you get it back in blessing. Even if you don't, you never know how you're making somebody else feel.
Right. Right.
There's other people like us and fortunate enough to have what I have now.
Mhm.
Again, like I said, this all could go. This
Yes.
go right now. But again, imagine that other person that you like.
Mhm.
I have a steady job. So for me, it's like I know when my next check is coming. Somebody out
Mhm.
there that's standing out there on the corner of the
Mhm.
street, they just
Right.
gotta find a way. So for me,
Right.
and that could be me. And I will hope and pray that somebody would give me if I need
Mhm.
it. So it's just
Yeah.
like, again, I ain't forget where I came from. There have been times
Right.
we did not have. I'm just
Right.
blessed enough to be here today and be able to go
Right.
out and get me something to eat. Because there
Mhm.
were times I wasn't able to buy myself something to eat.
Right.
So it's just
Right.
like it was really bad. Like so,
Mhm.
it's like when people, I just want to return that favor
Okay. Got
because
you. Now,
you never
let
know.
me ask you this. So with your son, what gifts and talents do you see in him, and do you see him modeling things after you? Because we are their first, representative of what the world should be like. If you're giving, you got that from somebody in your life, your mother. And if you're hateful and mean and nasty, you got that from somebody too. A lot of the things that we mimic as children, we learn. So what kind of positive learned behavior have you seen your son demonstrate as a result of the things that you're pouring into his life as a single dad?
Can, can I get 5 seconds just to tell the class to go in the other class really quick?
Yes. Got you. So, folks, while we're waiting for, you can see that he is in school, and he has taken from he's on his prep now, which gives us time to talk. So I hope that you have enjoyed our conversation thus far. And like I said before, I am intentionally bringing on men, Black men that I know, who can add to this conversation so that you can visually see that a lot of our brothers are doing great and wonderful things with our families, with our communities, wonderful positive relationships, because we need to turn this narrative around. The stereotype that Black men aren't worth a dime. No, 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 no. We have some wonderful Black men who are doing wonderful things in the community. And so Mr. Tyrik Gass is one of them. And I'm so honored that I crossed his path because, like I said, I have not met such a more generous soul than this young man. I tell you the truth. So we're going to talk about your early learner. What have you poured into his life? And have you seen the residual effects of the positive things you've tried to implant in him? Do you see it?
Well, let's start. I'm gonna start here. I try to get him on the sport route, whereas though he could work on teamwork, work effort and everything else ain't work. Him in sports though is just not it. But yeah, okay. I can see that he definitely tried to take after me with being, I wouldn't say like too much of a goofy but funny, but he's like, I can see me in him, a younger version of me in him. He tried to be like me all the time. He really looks up to me. He like try to repeat everything I do what I do. And certain things like what he say back to me. And one of the things I could say, even as an 8-year-old kid, he keep me on my toes. There's certain things I would say like, oh, men don't do this, men don't do that. And he'll turn around and look at me like, Dad, remember you said men don't do that? And I'm looking like, oh my God. Like, look, what was it? 2 days ago. So I just lost one of my students actually from Glen Mills, Hamid Burgess from Southwest Philadelphia. He just got killed. Funeral actually is tomorrow. So my son was looking at me crying. He was like, Dad, what are you crying for? I thought men don't cry. And I'm looking like, yo, oh my God. Wow. I'm like, so it's like little stuff like that, whereas though it's like, it's locked in with him, whereas though he see me, he see what's going on. And that's things I take into consideration. So it's just like, I got to watch what I do, watch what I say, because again, he's watching, he's learning. To sit here and say, they just a kid. They don't know that, yes, they do. Especially in this generation, they watching. They see, like I said, I never argue in front of my kid. They would never see me, mom, no female, no none of that. Because these are the things I don't want kids doing. I don't do it. Now, I have probably had 1,000 arguments, but they would never be able to sit here and say, I saw my dad argue. I would never disrespect their mothers or none of like that, nothing like that. So it's just, certain things I don't want in front of them. Now, again, relationships and they go back and forth and, they're going to learn to talk it out. They're going to learn how to work on certain things when it comes to being how you carry yourself.
Right. And Tyrik, something you just said, a lot of things you said struck me and drove, made me very interested in listening. You said, now I know that you're an athlete. You play ball, right? You play semi-professional ball. And most fathers with boys, you want your son to be a mirror image of you. And I'm so happy to hear that you said he is not an athlete. Right? Because some fathers get frustrated and angry with their boys if they're not just like me. It's so wonderful to hear that you said he doesn't cut it. That's wonderful because now you can see him as an individual, right? So as parents and a father of a single father, one thing I would suggest too that you are already doing is to identify what his gifts and talents are. And then once you figure that out, which I know you have, you put him in places where those things can be cultivated. And
Exactly.
that's so now, since he's not an athlete, what is he? What makes his heart
But
smile?
for me, starting from where he at now, he's really big into gaming because he see his older brother. His older brother's really, really big on gaming. He's really smart.
Okay.
Trying to make money off it. He actually doing a program right now with Penn. My oldest, he
Okay.
be 18. His Tyrik Gass Jr. So yeah, he does a lot of gaming. So he look up to his big brother as well. He big on gaming. So right now, for me, I would say, and he want to own a pizza shop. So
Okay.
Jonas is big on business.
Oh,
So he want
business.
to business pizza shop.
Okay. Okay, so you'll be putting them in things entrepreneurship, right? Exposing them to
Correct.
that kind of
Yep.
stuff. Good. I'm so happy to hear that. So fathers out there, if your son is not an athlete, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. Take it from one who played ball.
Hold on. But that took a lot because again, like I said, when I see I'm on, I don't like my oldest. He's 6'4". Well, probably
Okay.
6'5". He's 17 years old, and it's like you don't want to. Now he did give it a try. Now that's the thing. I can't like. I'm like, you didn't even try it. He tried football. He tried basketball. Not work. I said, oh, that's all I could do is as long as you tried it. Now again, I never played sports until I got to the 11th grade. 11th and 12th grade. That's when I finally started playing sports. I never played. Now again, my whole life I would have went through not playing. If somebody just say, "Yo, go give it a try," and I'm looking like me got me scholarships. So I'm trying to make sure my kids got the same opportunity. Like, don't rob yourself now because you might end up liking it. They said I was a better football player than basketball, and I'm looking like I didn't care for no sport. I didn't care. So I'm looking at my kids like, yo, just give it a try.
Give it a
You
try.
might like it, you might not, and if you don't, okay.
But what I'm saying is, you're not beating them upside the head because they're not what you want them to be in sports. You know, there's some fathers that do that, Tyra. I see their face.
Not no more. Before it was like, come on, we gotta go out there, we gotta work out. Not no more. And then that's hard on a father because it's like, I play sport. Come on, we gotta get out there. It's like if you ain't playing sport, what else you doing with yourself? Because again, we gotta go to college. I didn't make it. You now gotta make it. You gotta make it for us. So it's like I live for you. It's like I live through you, but I just let they create their own path. Like I said, whatever they want to do, make sure that they're being guided the right way and doing what they got to do and doing what they want to do. Because again, I'm up for no job I don't want to do. Like the things I'm doing, I want to do. Like again, I'm not working at some job I don't want to work. Every job I'm working because that's what I want to be. I want to work with youth, so I'm around youth. This is what I'm doing. I can do it all day.
I got you. So what I've learned from you, like if I were a person listening as a single father, the first thing I would understand is that you're not alone, right? You have to formulate a support system. And for you, it seems like your mother is your main support system, right? 2, this is not a traditional role, and you will accept help from people who are willing to assist in this process. So it's not off limits. I also understand that we need to have more resources for single fathers because you don't see them readily available, because if they were readily available, you would definitely participate, but I don't hear that from you.
Because I've been one of those fathers too, though, whereas though, like I said, and this would make me start leaning towards help. Because again, we as fathers, it's not that we don't want to be fathers, even the ones that's becoming absent or get looked at a certain way because they're not doing certain things. Fathers want to be there for their kids, right? I don't think there's a father on this planet that say, hey, you know what, that's my kid, I don't want to take care of him. Like they now if it is, maybe they want to get checked out. But I'm quite sure if a father had an opportunity, like you talk about these research, like landing a decent job, fixing a criminal background, getting a place to stay and things like that, whereas though they able to bring their kid to and like take care of the kid the way they want to. We are, we gotta take care of our kids with restrictions. It's like, oh no, only kid, I gotta stay in the city. I can't take my kid and show them the world. I gotta work so much, whereas though I'm paying child support now. It's like, whereas though, let's look into these things. Let's not just say, hey, well, the mother said you're not doing this, so I pay $500 in child support. Let's look into things and not, just jump straight to conclusion. Let's give these fathers a chance. Get these mothers. But again, like I said, I think with more resources to help a lot of fathers out to be the father they want to be.
Right, right. I agree. I agree 100%. And like you said, don't just jump to conclusions because of what the mother and many mothers are carrying the load and doing a great job. But then there are a lot of mothers that, need to
Hmm.
work better, have build a better relationship with the dad. Now,
Yeah.
Tyreek, if you had to do it all over again, would you do it the same way? Would you do something different or would you not do it at all?
For me, honestly, I gotta go with doing it the same way, only
Mhm,
because it made me who I am.
mhm,
Again, it was a tough, oh my God, it was a tough role. It was a tough just to even staying here today, and I'm not even close to halfway being done.
mhm,
But again, I would do this because I learned so much. I
mhm,
learned so, and I don't think me taking the easy way out or being able to have a straight path of my way would be the
mhm,
way. Then
mhm.
I got everything I want, and I'm still learning,
Right.
and I'm learning things that I could have learned, back then. It's like, yeah, I would go the same way. I
Okay.
would do every way.
Okay, that's one. So before we leave, do you have any closing remarks that you could just share with a father that might be tuning in? Because people were in and out of this live. And one thing about this YouTube that I like, even if they don't catch us live, you can play this over and over and over again. So can you give us like some words of wisdom for any father out there? What would you share with them to just keep them encouraged? Single fathers.
One thing I could give out there to the single fathers is, just stay, like I said, no matter what being said was how it's being said, your child is part of you.
Mhm,
She is you. So you want to be present as much as possible.
mhm,
Um, because again, you are part of the upgrowing, whether you know it or not, whether you there or
mhm.
not. And for
Right.
me, I see my father like no more than 5 times in my life, and he just
Right.
passed away a few years ago. So again, like I
Mm,
said, be having an eye to eye conversation with him, understanding the fact that why wasn't he there? That's a
mhm.
conversation me and he had about why wasn't he there, and I came to an understanding like, okay, cool, I accept it. I'm grown now. There's nothing you can really do for me, but I
Right,
don't want us to go off this planet without having that conversation. And
right.
Lord, within a week later, he passed away. So
Wow.
again, it was like, yo, was coming around to building a relationship, to
Mhm,
understanding each other. Again, like I
mhm,
said, it's too late for me, but you got grandkids now. I want my
mhm,
kids to know and things in that nature. Like I don't hate you.
mhm,
I got that's what I needed to. So again, like
mhm,
I said, the fathers, we got to be there. Again, like I said, we part of it, whether we
mhm,
like it or not, whether
mhm,
we there or not. We
mhm.
are part of kids
Okay.
upcoming, whether you absent or present. You
Right,
are part of it.
right.
So again, it could make the kid, it could break the kid.
Mhm.
So again, father, I still made it out to be what I needed to be, but
Yes,
that took a lot. It took
of
a lot
course.
of learning
Mhm,
and realizing that this ain't that way. I got to do it this way. It
mhm,
took a lot of guided. Hey, young
mhm.
boy, come get tell this. This is how you got to do it. And now somebody else is misguiding your kid. So
Right.
again, like I said, to show up, we got to be there with or
Mhm.
without. Whatever we don't have, we got to still be there. Again, the park costs nothing. The
Right,
park costs. Get your kid, go to the park. Have conversation, do some homework. That
right,
costs nothing.
right,
So
right.
we
Be
got to be there.
creative. Be creative.
We got
Right?
to show up.
Yeah, just show up. Because like you just said, the park is free. And that's what we talked about. Being creative and finding ways just to because basically the kid just wants to be with you. You
Mm-hmm.
don't have to spend a whole lot of money. They just want to be with you, right?
Exactly. That's it.
So, Tyreek, thank you for it. I know that you have to get back to your class, but thank you. Oh, he left again. I don't know what happened. But, folks, I hope that you enjoyed this presentation. And like I said, please share this information with all of your family and friends. Don't ever forget to subscribe to Learning with Miss Nancy because we're always interested in making sure that our early learners grow and thrive and become successful citizens. That's our goal. And next week, I was just saying my goodbyes and thanking you
There-
for
Went
being
out
here, Tyreek. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much.
anytime.
And people will be able to play this tape over and over. And next week, I have a brother who's a barber, and he's going to come and talk about how to help our early learners be groom. A lot of our kids got to learn how to groom themselves, and what that process entails. So thank you again. And thank you those who listen. And remember to subscribe to Learning with Ms. Nancy so that you can see this over and over again. Thanks, Tyrik.
All right. Thank you.
All
Thank you
right,
for having me.
you're welcome. Bye-bye.